Let's take this on, speak to Patty Culhane in Washington, D.C. Patty, when or indeed will these sanctions and these demands have their required effect?
Well, you know, the Obama administration is very keen today to say that they think they will have an impact, but I think it's worth noting that in the months of these protests, one of the things that they would tell you behind the scenes is they weren't taking a tougher stance because they simply didn't think there was much the U.S. could do. I mean, let's think about the U.S.-Syrian relationship. Syria has faced U.S. sanctions for the last 7 years, mostly on exports, but the administration not highlighting that fact today, saying that these will have an impact because they're going after imports, specifically petroleum imports, although at the same time they admit that about 90% of that product ends up in the European Union. As for the financial measures trying to seize Syrian funds here in U.S. banks, you have to wonder if the Assad government would really leave a lot of its cash lying around at U.S. banks, knowing that this was a possibility. And I've pushed the U.S. Treasury Department on this, and they're not giving us a potential number, but we'll see in the days ahead.
Yeah, and Patty, all this has been, to say the least, a long time coming, hasn't it? Why has the White House been so slow in finally making this call?
The White House likes to say that they've had different relationships with different countries facing different kinds of protests. But if you think back, it was just about 5 months ago where Secretary of State Hillary Clinton came out and said that there were some in the U.S. government that thought that Assad was a reformer. And we've seen a gradual and a very gradual shift. 2 months ago, they said that Assad needed to lead or get out of the way. Then they went to he's lost legitimacy. Now they've gone to simply he needs to get out. But at the same time, I think it's worth noting that the President of the United States, Barack Obama, who's here in Washington right now before he leaves for vacation, he's not the one who made this statement. The Secretary has said in the past, Secretary Clinton, that words from the U.S. really aren't going to matter in this. What's going to matter is what Turkey says, what the Saudis say. They're couching that with that.
All right, Patty, thanks very much indeed. Important what everybody else says too. Thanks for that.